Welcome to another car disassembly video courtesy of the one and only Klubniy Servis Moscow, a lovely channel that I have been translating for quite some time, and their host Ilya this time around is going to show us the innards and underbelly and everything related to the lovely Toyota we know as Kluger. In Russia, in America, and arguably everywhere else in the world, but I haven't checked every single country record, this car is known as Toyota Highlander. And interestingly enough, this video is showing us the model of 2021, year 2021, so that, it looks like our Klugers of 2021, they were the older shape, and we started getting these newer shape kind of thing that we think is a newer shape only for 2023 Toyota Klugers. But as we can see from this video, from this footage that Ilya is showing us, this Toyota Highlander is 2021, go figure, and it looks exactly identical to Toyota Kluger 2023. Hope I didn't confuse you with numbers of the years there, but I am very, very excited as a person now very intimately interested in Toyotas. I'm very excited to show you and see for myself what these cars are made of. Please give the video a like if you like car disassembly videos and my translation videos. I'm gonna disappear from the screen in a second, and we are going to follow Ilya and Klubniy Servis specialists as they take this car apart and show us what it's made of. So when I see them detach literally every bolt, wire and electronic panel from the body of the car, I get a mini heart attack. So hopefully I will last okay until the end of the video, my friends. Ilya here is focused in the original video on the differences between this Highlander or Kluger made for the American market and the ones that they have made to be exported, for example, to Russia. And apparently some of them are even assembled in Russia and somewhere else in the world. I am personally secretly hoping that we in Australia are getting a proper American-built model for American market rather than the equivalent of what is shown to us here, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. In this context, the best quote that Ilya here starts his original video with is, "What is the main difference between a patriot and a realist?" Well, patriots have faith and realists have information. This car, even in stock version, is claimed by the owner to be rather quiet when driven on the road, and Ilya here says that he will explain why very shortly. When apparently you are working on installing an aftermarket sound insulation, which is what their service center is doing among other things, you first apply a layer of vibro insulation, rubberized pads kind of thing, or sometimes it's not pads, sometimes it's like a foam that then solidifies, the ones that are supposed to suppress or at least dampen the sound from little pebbles hitting the body, underbody of the car, and so on. Here we can see that the vibro insulation layer comes applied at the factory before, say, Klubniy Servis in this particular case even got a chance to or a need to put their own hands on it, at least in the frontal part of this vehicle's body. The rear part also has vibro insulation material applied to all parts that Toyota deemed able to bounce, I suppose, and resonate on the road bumps or any other road surface imperfections, but it is not as solid, I suppose, and as everywhere literally as the frontal part of the vehicle. Also, all of the welding seams Ilya is showing us here are covered by some kind of solidified insulation foam of sorts, which is awesome to see, and a real rarity on, say, Chinese vehicles that they have also disassembled plenty of. Toyota prides itself in paying attention to smaller details that contribute to longevity of the vehicle, and that is probably the key differentiating factor of Toyotas and some other kind of leading brands in the industry from cheaper brands, I suppose. Here Ilya is pointing at the electric wiring. It is very, very neatly tied up and bound here on the side with almost surgical, he says, precision. All the clips are really, really solid. Everything is there in place. It is a pleasure to see. take a look at the presence of this felt-like insulation material layer, which is apparently an ancient technology of car insulation layering. And Ilya says that application of this material usually ends normally in the cars at the feet of your rear passenger seat. So these layers are in the front of the car only if you meet them in, say, European-made cars such as Volkswagen. Here, the whole floor is covered with this felt material. And you would think it's a good thing, right? And in case you are wondering naturally why Ilya doesn't like it and points it out to us, well, apparently it is because past 4 or 5 years of ownership of the car, at least in Russian conditions, in Russian weather conditions, very different weather, it's not always dry and sunny, by absorbing moisture from your feet, presumably, mostly, especially if you haven't bothered to put completely rubberized bucket kind of style floor mats into the car, this felt material starts emitting a certain less than pleasant smell, let's call it that. As you might have heard from my previously translated videos, Ilya actually owns a Toyota Sequoia, a second-hand one. He bought it when the vehicle was, believe it or not, 10 years old, but in a very good condition. But it still was 10 years old. And he said that he vividly remembers that that smell was there, and he had to literally use the services of his own center to lift the car off the frame, take all that stuff out, throw it away, and then he could continue using the vehicle. So take it for what it is, my friends. It's just an insight for us. While sound insulation of the floors of this vehicle is great, as it was shown to us just now, we are seeing that the ceiling is completely void of any of that kind of insulation, naked, so to speak, and the doors are exactly the same, also lacking anti-corrosion application, anti-corrosion spray. What they also do here is apply paint protection film. Yeah, you know, all those kind of pre-purchase things, extras that you can buy at your dealer, which were shown in a very short clip here, so that you can, I don't know, take a break and feast your eyes, my friends, if I may say so. You are welcome. If you haven't given this video a like so far, you're dead inside. Now, on to the engine. This engine, particular one, is a 249 horsepower V-shaped 6-cylinder petrol engine, similar to the one apparently that they use in Camrys even, but modernized to have 12 valves and utilizing VVTi modernized technology. Ilya, as a kind of old school service center owner, and it is a Toyota originally based service center, he is a self-confessed, like, old-school car mechanic, and that is a disclaimer explaining why he's a little apprehensive of newer and less time-proven technologies, especially in the cars that are loved not for their particular design or not for their particular luxury, but for their longevity and for their reliability. So any of these kind of slightly newer deviations and newer technologies make Ilya particularly feel uneasy, and I sort of understand where he's coming from. Transmission in this car, thankfully, is a classic approach to an 8-speed automatic transmission. No DCT, none of that rubbish. It steers apparently very nicely, much better than Toyota off-roaders do. Now they are lifting the car and taking a look at its underbelly, suspension, and the other elements. It is not a classic off-roader on a frame, duh, which is why they couldn't detach the body from the frame fully in this video, in case you were wondering, because that's different from their other videos, as they do, you know, with other vehicles. We can see here independent rear suspension with a parallel carrying bar, spring-based amortization around the wheels, and the whole thing, according to Ilya, enables very nice braking and general driving experience. Because it's an all-wheel drive vehicle and not a 4x4 four-wheel drive kind of on a frame vehicle, we can see that the rear transfer case, and it has very relatively small kind of shafts leading to those transfer cases. Why are they so small? Yeah, because this is an all-wheel drive enablement of making sure that the car grips with its tires to the road really nicely and really well and doesn't slip. It is designed for that purpose, not for rock climbing, rock hopping, or any other form of serious off-roading. Here we have a reasonably sized petrol tank, a rather long main driving shaft. It is shown here uncovered because normally apparently it is covered, but it is done just to demonstrate it better to us. Ilya further goes into talking about the lack of anti-corrosion spray, which is a second main service that his service center is providing. They always kind of take a nod to that fact if something is lacking, which it is in this particular case. And let's admire the lovely handiwork of theirs for a few seconds. And I bet the poor guy who comes to mind right now, who drove that, remember, LTV T60 in Australia that rusted after being parked by the sea, wishes that he visited Klubniy Servis beforehand, as well as this owner of this lovely Kluger or Highlander. But well, different continent and country. I know. What can we do? Now Ilya takes a closer look at how the wheels are fitted on this Toyota Highlander, and again we see classic solution to application of McPherson struts, disc-based brakes, both front and rear, and nothing really that surprising for a Toyota fan who wants a classic solution here. Classic, reliable solution inducing confidence. Most of this Toyota Highlander's body is made of steel, which is nice, but when it comes to the frontal parts, such as the frontal wheel arches and the bonnet specifically, those apparently are made of a softer aluminium-based alloy. This means that if you have a frontal collision, the car is apparently designed to absorb the impact easier, saving the hopefully not living object that you've hit, but also crumbling the surface underneath to absorb that hit at your expense, naturally, or the expense of your insurance provider. So let's wrap up and summarize very quickly what we've been shown today in yet another video from Klubniy Servis, which I always enjoy translating for you, my friends. Ilya thinks that this vehicle is understandably expensive. With the assembly approach that's been shown to us, plenty of modernized technical solutions that make him feel tiny bit uneasy, and that is where he highlights yet again that Toyota is loved for its reliability and resale value first and foremost, not particular creature comforts or luxury levels that these vehicles are simply not known for. I hope you have enjoyed this little translation from me once again. It hasn't been a particularly long video, but it has shown us all that we need to know about Toyota Kluger or Highlander in this particular case. If you enjoyed this video and if you would like more videos from me, from Klubniy Servis or other Russian channels that I translate, including car disassembly ones, do not be shy, talk to me in the comments down below and I will prioritize this content over any other. For now, please give me a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll be speaking to you next week about something else, cars or essential car electronics related, no doubt. Goodbye for now.